Alright, you guys. Take two on this video. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Can Mama make a video? Okay, come on. Okay, you guys. So, as you can see, Mara's doing fine. Her early interventionist that came today says that she's unlike any other premature baby that she's seen. She's very active and is teething and is standing up and is climbing and is hunching and is only 10 pounds. Very active baby. Okay, hold on. Okay. Anything else? Okay. We're gonna try to get through this video. So I've had this prepped to make, but never was able to make it. The appointment life, okay? And but now that I'm done nursing and had last week was we didn't have any appointments, but we had to get ready for Christmas. Hope you guys all had a Merry Christmas. But after yesterday's sermon and today's news, I needed to, and with New Year's Eve being tomorrow, I felt like I need to go ahead and put this out. I've been sitting on videos with intentions to make videos. So what I'm going to use for the thumbnail is, I had already looked at the date couple weeks prior to this, but it looks like November 18th, 2018, and there was some significant things in there. And then the fact that we didn't have any, we've heard more about Uber drivers, especially after the killing of the girl here in South Carolina State, the college student who just jumped into an Uber driver. Sure, you've all heard of it. But I was kind of wondering about the church shootings, okay? We haven't had any until I've seen today. I think yesterday we had a church shooting. And then also it seems as if, I would assume on Saturday, they had a shooting at a rabbi's house. Unless they were gathering on Sunday. I don't know, you guys. I really don't watch YouTube. I don't have the time. Sadly, I would love to, but appointment life. We've seen every specialist you can name. We've had a minimum of 60 appointments in home and out home. And last week was our break week, but we had to get ready for Christmas too. So, maybe with me stopping nursing and hopefully with just one more good full week of appointments coming up on the second week of January, I can do what I'm supposed to do. Okay? Felt a little convicted about that after church service on yesterday. Okay? Just a little background. This morning I put out, I had the dream. There was a shooting. Okay? There was a shooting on the outside. And there was a club shooting here, okay? There was a club shooting here on yesterday. And the footage, the camera footage, and it being dark really reminded me of being in the dream. But I knew it when I did have the dream that there was a warning for church shootings, okay? And I think around that time, Pastor Tim had put out a video maybe a couple days after about basically persecution of Christians and how a little girl either got shot in the head or her head got chopped off for not renouncing Jesus Christ. And so anyway, uh, but I knew the gist of it was church shootings. And also in the dream, this guy that you see in the thumbnail, he's Arabic, okay? If I'm not mistaken, I'll leave the video below because I haven't gone back to watch it. I'm just going by memory. The guy, I had the dream, and then the next morning, there was an arrest of this particular Uber driver who was trying to sexually assault, or he kind of, I think he tried to force a kiss on a 15-year-old while he was dropping her off from work or to work. Okay? But and he has a full Arabic name, but in the dream, you guys, the Lord used my son, who also has a full Arabic name, and in the dream, my son had the haircut, like the boy in the picture. So, and my son was 15 at the time and didn't have a job, but now he does have a job, and I just don't let him Uber. Okay? Um, when I was, and he also has the same texture of this guy. So I felt like the Lord was really using my son so that when I saw the story and saw the boy's hair and saw, I could really pay attention. Saw his name, okay? Same, almost same complexion, okay, you guys? So when I looked for the story, because I had seen it on the news the next day to share with you guys and to make the video, I noticed that there were more cases of sexual assault than I just didn't know they existed. And of course, by now, if I didn't already say it, because this is take two of trying to make this video, the young lady that got shot or stabbed to death in South Carolina State, she just jumped in a car, thought it was her Uber, at some popular hangout spot, of course, and she just jumped in a car and was killed. Also, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like there were 7 to 9 women shortly after that came out in California and said that they had been reporting rideshare. I can't say specifically Uber, but rideshare sexual assaults, and they had been swept under the rug. So that was like the second thing that came out after the warning. And here more recently, it says, so it may have been more women that in California that just came forward, but it says, I wrote down here that 29 women in California sued Lyft for, I guess, sexual assault or harassment or incidents that they reported and they were ignored. Also, I don't know why I have 3,000 reports. Maybe that was specifically for Uber. I felt like there was some news that came out last week about there being something like 3,000 reports of sexual assault. Looks like I have. As you know, Uber and Lyft, they begin to put safety measures in place. Looks like I have here that Uber uses a secure pin code. I think there's some type of app that basically allows you to share your whereabouts, and I think it's some type of app that allows you to share your whereabouts or something. Some safety precaution that they put in place. I'm trying to think of anything that I've heard that I didn't write down. Um, they have the lit up little signs now. That was a measure that they took after the young lady got killed here in South Carolina. So they have the little signs here that had to be not here, but I'm sure nationwide. They have to be displayed in the window that says Uber or Lyft. One of the two followed suit. I guess Lyft followed Uber in taking that precautionary measure, and I know some other things, you guys. So, oh, one more thing. I heard that maybe it was Uber, maybe it was Lyft. I'm thinking maybe it was Uber. It's wanting to settle out of court for all the complaints. I guess ahead of some of these cases going public, uh, that were swept under the rug. So they're trying to settle out of court as opposed to, people going to trial and this thing being blown out in the open where it should be. I said all that to say this. The footage of this most recent church shooting immediately brought me back to yesterday when I went into the back. I'm a treasurer for my board. So we went to the back, and that's where they have the screens of. We have cameras now because if you're new to my channel, we had a Dylan Roof copycat look-alike coming to our church. So we've got our own safety measures and security and bouncers in place. But looking at the footage on TV of the shooter coming in, it really reminded me. So it makes me think that we are, God forbid, are going to have more shootings here in the future. Before we go home, evil is increasing. Persecution of the church. Okay? Not only verbally, but, they're trying to kill us, literally. The devil is trying to kill us. Like I said, this is probably the only church shooting that I've heard of since I made that particular video. And of course, the uh, the Jewish temple shooting that we had, I think it was earlier this year, and the most recent shooting at a rabbi's house, which I would assume happened on yesterday or Saturday. Um, with it being New Year's Eve tomorrow, you guys, please take extra precautionary measures. Let people know where you are. If you can avoid taking ride shares, do that. But of course, don't drink and drive. Take a Uber if you have to, but let people know where you're going. Of course, look for signs of Lyft, the lit up signs, whatever little things they have now, measures to help you identify your Uber or your Lyft. Make sure that you're actually getting into a Lyft or Uber, and let people know where you're going. Me personally, I don't go out on New Year's Eve. I'm in my house. I'm sleeping by 10, and with me having a baby, I go to sleep when she goes to sleep. So that's usually around 9:30 now. Um, I just feel the urgency to put this out with tomorrow being New Year's Eve, and people are going to be out and about and taking rideshare services. Okay, be careful also with your children. That was the major warning. That was the initial major warning that I got. Be careful with. Let them check in while they're on their way. Put what you call it? I want to say navigation on their phone where you can know where they are. at all times, especially if they're doing rideshare to work or whatever. My son has never had to take one. He works right up the road, okay? At the time that I had a dream, he was 15 and wasn't old enough to work. So, of course, this always was in the back of my mind when we were trying to decide where he would work. I feel like there's one more thing when it comes to this Uber and Lyft. Can't remember. If I can remember, I'll put it in the comment section. No, that's it. Pray as you're going to services. If you go to church, if you're part of a church, pray. You know, we have bouncers and we have gotta tote pistols to church. Apparently, it's okay. We've had, like I said, we've had a Dylan Roof look-alike copycat try to come twice and intimidate. And be very, very careful, you guys, with your children and yourselves. Not only for not only for just the New Year's, but for everyday rideshare services that you may use to get to and from work and other places. Okay. I think that's it for this particular video. I'll leave the original video below, and hopefully we can come back. Say hi. You just talking? Yeah. Anything else? You have to call Sherry so Sherry can sing to you. Okay? Yeah. Cece can sing. All right, guys. Oh, yeah. On another note, if you guys see my stalker, she's back. I have taken measures to stop her. Lord knows the grace and the patience that I've given to her does not come from me or my flesh. But if you see her in the comment section, I've blocked her about a week ago. She likes to go on other people's channels because she's made multiple channels that I've had to block. She will be taken care of. I really do pity her in one sense, but in another sense, nobody's stalking her or surveilling her house. Lord knows I just had a stroke and a double stroke, and I have a new baby, and I don't have time to have my blood pressure elevated with the foolishness. If I actually knew where she lived at, I would be able to serve her with these papers that I have. She admitted that she has a problem with drugs, and she has kids apparently, and I don't like to be I don't like my kids to be threatened. But I know they're empty threats because Lord knows, I don't know this girl from Adam and never seen her. But I don't want to put her kids in a position where they may be separated from her. I've tried everything to stop her. So the minute I find out where she lives, I have to serve her with a restraining order and just have to go to court. Okay, I don't really care about it, but if you guys see her in the comment section, going to other people's channels, slandering my name, just ignore her, because I try my very best to do the same. Say hi, say bye. See, we gotta call Godmama Sherry. She's drooling, y'all. She's teething, and she's standing. This is all she wants to do. She's a big girl. Alright, you guys, I don't want to prolong this video. Hopefully, I can make some more. Okay?